Hey, what's up, Kat?
What's up, bro? How you doing?
Good. Hey, I just was talking to Tim, and we need to come up with a tease, and the theme is hope.
Yo, bro, I got a great idea. I hope I make this basket.
I hope I can hit this bullseye.
I hope I can make this basket.
No, bro, I hope I can make the basket.
No, it's my turn. I hope I get to make the basket.
Well, I hope that one day I'll host the show.
Always finding hope. Here's your host of Nightlife, Tim Bergen.
Right, guys. Good job. Good job. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Kurt and Kellen, the two best studio musicians on television, and as always, the gracious and gregarious Sydney. Kellen, you coming up here to host, buddy? You said you wanted to host.
I'm ready.
Guess not. Well, welcome to Nightlife, the best late-night show on Christian television. Tonight's theme is about hope. If there's anything our world needs now, it is hope. Having a positive attitude. Here are some of the benefits of having hope, okay? Stay with me. I'm going to read through this quickly. It gives you a reason for living. It increases longevity. It creates a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction. It gives you peace of mind. It increases your level of motivation. It promotes laughter. It promotes positive relationships. It reduces the level of frustration and worries. It enhances effective communication. It increases your spiritual development and awakening. Whew. Okay, now that's just a few of the benefits of hope. And the rest will be listed on our Cornerstone Network's Facebook page for you to check out a little bit later. Needless to say, having hope can radically change your life. Someone once said that we can have hope for a future because God has a sense of humor and we're all funny to God. Well, hope is really based on who you ultimately have hope in. So the question is, who is it that you have hope in? Because where our hope lies determines if it's real or not. Now, you can hope your team will win or that you'll get a job or that this person will go out with you. Guys, this person will go out with you? Got that kind of hope? Whereas I mentioned before, success in whom we place our hope in will be determined by how realistic it is. Now, if I hope to get a job and I'm not qualified for that job and it's not realistic, also not something that God is going to perform a miracle for because, listen, if you're not qualified, you'll be miserable and ultimately end up losing all hope in the job. God has a plan and a hope for you. And on today's show, we're going to be talking about that. We have a guy who had lost all hope, but learned how to turn it around. Ed Wethli is here, and he walked through some pretty tough things and is now helping those without hope to change their world. Guys, right now, my hope is that with today's show, that you'll actually do a song based on hope, okay, for the music challenge. Ready for that? Okay, guys, take us out to the break.
Hey, we're here at Cornerstone Network, and we've been issued a challenge. Kellen, tell them.
Today we were asked to play the paperclip game. And this game is about finding how much you can get by trading one single paperclip. So we're excited about it. Hey, bro, you got the paperclip?
Nah, man, I thought you had it.
No, I don't.
Oh, man, well, hey, let's go get one.
Let's do it. What's up, guys? Here's our first stop to find out what we can get for this paperclip. And we're going into the editing room, so shh, we gotta be quiet.
Steve, what's up?
Hey, hi, guys. What's up?
Steve, we had one question for you. What would you give us for this paperclip?
Paperclip, let's see it. Oh man, that is a nice one.
Steve, that can do many things for you.
This is it. I tell you what, I got something for you. Here you go. How about this lamb for the paperclip?
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
Oh, great, good. Well, you guys have a great day.
Thank you, sir.
Steve, thank
too.
you. What would you give us for this amazing lamp here?
It's vintage.
Vintage.
How about my Steelers couch?
Hey, Marianne.
Oh, hi, Guy.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
Marianne, we had one question for you. What would you give us for this wonderful Steelers couch?
This is vintage.
Vintage. Yes, it looks like it too. Oh, well. Oh, I guess I could give you Bambi.
Bambi! Hi!
Bambi. Oh.
This would be wonderful.
Oh, this is great.
Ladies and gentlemen, our challenge is complete and also a success.
Guys, we started out with a paperclip and ended up with a poodle. Back to you guys.
Okay, guys, I'm tired of holding on to Bambi for you. So here's your dog, all yours. Good, Bambi. Go to the boys. Go to the boys. Oh, poor Bambi. Anyhow, on today's Nightlife, that was very good. A paperclip for a dog. That is pretty serious. On today's Nightlife, we want to welcome my good friend, Ed Wethli. He is now, Ed loves coffee, and he's the owner of Kivahan Coffee here in Pittsburgh. Ed, why don't you come on down? Amen. Oh, now, everybody knows you as the coffee guy, but you've gone through a lot in your life. The focus of this show is hope. And if anybody, when I was thinking about the show, if anybody has gained hope through very difficult times, I thought it's got to be Ed. It's got to be Ed. Now, you went through some hard times. You had some struggles in your life, struggles with alcohol.
Yes. I liked alcohol too much. And so 6.5 years ago.
But see, you were a successful businessman.
Oh, yeah, doing very well.
For all intents and purposes, everybody on the outside would look at you, look at your life, and say, he's got the perfect life.
Yes. What they didn't realize is I was going home every night and drinking 2 bottles of wine.
Oh, my goodness.
The stress, every night.
So how did you break that? How did you overcome that?
What had happened that brought me to the point of getting there was, I think God brought me to a bottom. And one particular night I had drank 4 bottles of wine. And in a blackout, I punched my son, and he was 14 at the time. Didn't know I did this, obviously. And the next morning, waking up, everybody in the house, I heard the commotion, and I'm like, what did I do this time? And so when I walked out of the bedroom into the living room, my wife had said, my ex-wife now, had said, I can't do this anymore. I want a divorce. And so at that moment, I realized, where have I brought myself? Because family was so important to me. It was the center of my life, but my faith wasn't there. So I went to see my doctor that day, and I said, I think I might have a problem. And he said, definitely you do, if you're drinking that much.
So the result of this was you lost your family.
Yes.
You hurt your relationship with your kids. But if we were to just say that story, that part of it, it would be a hopeless situation.
Oh.
But something happened, something turned things around.
There were a lot of things. People came into my life only through the grace of God that brought me back up. You came into my life. A month after I'd quit drinking, I received this call from you asking if you could use my coffee on your TV show. And I remember at the time thinking, oh, this born-again preacher wants to use
this fruitcake.
He used my coffee on his TV show. Do we want to be associated with that? And you changed my life.
Oh,
that was
God
the
did,
beginning of God coming into my life. And
Now, your relationship with your kids has been restored.
it's amazing. Thank God.
Is that something that God did for you when you put him? Because with the alcohol, with the drinking, it seemed like things were getting worse and worse. Was it God that turned that around for you?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I had a hole that needed to be filled, and God filled that hole. And we started talking, and you started sharing with me about God. I talked with you all the time in the beginning. And a lot of that came from that. And just learning about the love of Jesus.
Yeah, God's good that way, the way he restores. And a lot of people don't understand that. They think that it's about just what you thought. It's about, oh, holy roller. It's about this religious thing. And it's got nothing to do with religion. It's got everything to do with relationship.
And it is. It's a relationship.
Now, there are a lot of twists and turns. He's blessing your business and things like that. And that would have been enough. You could have just said, okay, I'm going to be a good Christian. I'm going to be the man that God wants me to be for my kids and work on all these other restorative relationships. But God put a burden on your heart for something else, something bigger.
Yes, my business has grown. We've done very well, and we actually have a licensee in Saudi Arabia. And they approached me 2 years ago.
Saudi Arabia, you're a coffee roaster here in Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia.
It's a grace because they're absolutely amazing, and they're a great team over there. The company that bought our license in Saudi Arabia is opening stores throughout Saudi Arabia. What are the odds? Mm-hmm. But our name means coffee house in Arabic, Turkish, mm-hmm. and it was the first coffee bar ever. Opened in Constantinople in 1471. Wow. So they wanted to use the name in Saudi Arabia.
So God opened up all these stores, but that led you to another adventure that you're on right now that is critical.
Amazing.
I mean, critical to, I don't want to give it away, but you're literally turning people's worlds upside down.
Yes. They called me and asked if we could help a Syrian gentleman come to the United States to safety.
Now, did that freak you out because of everything that's going on with ISIS and everything that's happening? To
Yes.
think, okay, I'm going to help a Syrian, all I hear about is ISIS.
Yes, and it did. And in this particular case, the individuals that own the licensee in Saudi Arabia are Muslims, and the gentleman that they wanted me to help is a Christian. And for him to go back to Syria, and he was at risk of having to go back to Syria, could have meant death. So they asked if I could help. And so before Christmas of 2014, and I was like, should I do this? I had called you before I did it.
Quit blaming me for
I'm
stuff
sorry.
here, okay? We're in the show.
But we had talked about it, and you said, I think you should do it. And so on December 17th of 2014, this gentleman and his family came to the United States. I picked them up at the airport in Pittsburgh, and we've helped them get established here. And then they started telling me the stories about their family in Syria, and is there any way that you can help them? And
now, the persecution for Christians is very real. A lot of people don't understand
Yes.
that the Christian community is just being wiped out in Syria.
It's a genocide.
Just like it was pretty much wiped out in Iraq. It's being wiped out in Syria.
It's a genocide. For Christians, if they are picked up by ISIS, they have two choices: to convert or die, basically. And we've seen horrendous videos and stories. I was just in Lebanon the middle of last month in October, and the stories are just horrible, what these people are dealing with.
But in the middle of those stories, we're talking about hope here. There was life that was radically changed. There was a key individual their life was radically changed.
Yes.
She was a famous TV personality or something?
In Syria, and she was actually she was teaching the Quran on television in Syria, and she actually received a box of food from a church, and with the food was a Bible, and she started reading this Bible, and over the course of a year, reading this Bible, it started to change her heart. And it was the Sermon on the Mount that really got her. And she said, this is the kind of God that I want. And she had said one night going to bed, this was one of the stories we heard over there, she said, Jesus, if you are real, can you give me a sign? And so she said she woke up at 3 in the morning and there was Jesus in the room, and he said, I am the way. And
wow, it's got to freak you out as well.
Oh, it just, I mean, it was powerful. And she has 7 children. And what they're looking for is a way out. Because we met with them because they want to get to safety at this point.
You are saving the lives. You went from God saving your life, turning your life around, to you're saving lives every day. All these Christians that are being persecuted now, they're going into Canada.
Yes.
Families are going into Canada. The name of your organization?
The Ananias Mission.
Okay.
Never did I think that I would be part of forming something like this and doing this. If you would have told me that 7 years ago. But yeah, we're bringing Syrian Christian families to safety in Canada.
And it's just one life after another. And that story you just shared with us is just one of many stories of what God is doing. God is on the move in these refugee camps. God is on the move, not only rescuing Christians because of your faithfulness, but he's also on the move bringing the love of Christ to these men and women that are so searching for the truth. And you're making it happen. And I just can't thank you enough for what you're doing. And you talk about, folks, you talk about getting hope and receiving hope. His story, the story of how he's reaching out to all these other folks, it's amazing. Well, Sydney's got her Nightlife Scoop for us, and we want to hear the good news from Sydney as well with the Nightlife Scoop.
You know, there's a lot of ways you can spread hope, whether it's through a simple gesture or a smile. But for one man living in South Los Angeles, it's by combining his love of food and faith. And Kirk and Kellen, I really think you're going to love this one. For the past 4 years, Keith Garrett has been running all flavors, no grease, right out of his driveway. The popular spot is known for Keith's mouth-watering quesadillas. It also serves as a beacon of light and a sanctuary for those living in the Watts neighborhood. Keith says he uses the eatery as an opportunity to spark conversations about God and the good going on in the world. He told Insider he asked God to open his business so it would bring people of all different nationalities together, and God has truly answered his prayers. People of all backgrounds lined the streets just to get a taste of his food, including rival gang members. Keith says a restaurant for all flavor, no grease is coming soon. Tim, I absolutely love this concept of the restaurant being hope in the community and great food.
That's cool. All I can think of is if you feed them, they will come.
Amen.
And it always happens, even the gangs.
Yeah.
It's very cool. Well, we need to find out, guys, what is this is National Day of what?
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you know what time it is. Kellen, tell them.
Today is National Fritter Day, and a fritter is anything that is battered and deep fried. And I love fritters.
Saw on the news yesterday that so many were happy, many were sad, so many were waiting for the answers for hope. But we know it's just so hard to find. But as we wait upon you, you said you'd renew our strength, and we would find peace. So Lord, I'm calling on you, soaring on your wings is where we find victory. You are hope. than Jesus' blood and righteousness I'll hold. My hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness I'll hold. My hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness I'll hold. My hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness I'll hold.
What do you think? Feeling a little more optimistic? I hope so. One of my favorite verses in the Bible is about hope. It's really about it in an unexpected way. It's Romans 5:3-5, and it says, "We also glory in tribulations, knowing that tribulation produces perseverance, perseverance proven character, and proven character hope." Now, hope does not disappoint because the love of God has been poured out in our hearts by the Holy Spirit who is given to us. Now, just because you're going through things doesn't mean that God isn't with you. Sometimes it is going through the stuff of life, that things that, well, kind of like what Ed went through, that helps draw us to our hope in the Lord. David Crowder has a song out called I Am, and one of the lines is God speaking, and he's saying, I am holding on to you. In the middle of your storm, I am. See, God is always and will be always. And that's why he is the I am. He's in your storm and your celebration. He's in your weeping and in your joy. He is even in both your prosperity and your poverty and will get you through it all. Not sure? Then you need to come to know him. Or maybe you do know him and you need to come to know him better. We have prayer partners waiting to talk with you and to pray with you. Call the number on your screen, 888-665-4483. See, prayers can make a world of difference in bringing hope to your world. There are plenty of things in this world that would want to steal your hope, but the one who loves you the most and believes in you the greatest has created a plan for your life that trumps all hopelessness because, guess what? He is hope. Now, I have hope too. I hope that you enjoyed today's show. I hope that you'll be back next week, and I hope that today we brought a little light into your night here on Nightlife. So for Kirk, Kellen, Sydney, and everyone here at Nightlife, we'll see you next week.
You